It has been a month since I began detoxing from YouTube, and I gotta say I feel great, even though today and this week has not been the greatest. And I'm gonna talk about that first because I didn't take notes on that. I did take notes on the other 3 weeks, or 2 weeks. Three. Anyways, this week has been a little rough for me for. Hello. Java needs an update. This week has been a little rough, but that is because today, the day that I'm recording this, July 25th, is the day that my granny, my best friend, died, and I watched her die. It was 16 years ago, but you kinda don't get over something that traumatic. Even though it wasn't a traumatic death, it was still pretty traumatic for 13-year-old me. So this week I struggled a bit. I laid in bed a little longer in the mornings. I relapsed twice and watched YouTube longer than I should have. I missed my nighttime medication last night. I didn't wash dishes and stuff, but I still did other stuff. Like, I haven't worked yet this week except for Sunday. I had fully planned on it today, but it hit me a lot harder than I had thought it would. Like, I for some reason thought that the YouTube detox was going to help me with other issues that I'm having, and it has for the most part, but grief is just not one of those things. You know what? That's okay. That's data. I've learned now I can work on coping mechanisms that are actually healthy instead of drowning myself in media all day. To be fair, I only watched YouTube for about 4 hours today, which is 2 hours more than my YouTube budget, but I didn't watch too much. Well, I watched too much, but I didn't watch like 8 hours of it, or 12 hours of it, or 24 hours of it. And that's a good thing. This morning, I actually listened to music first, which I've been doing, except for some days this week, I just immediately turned on YouTube, and I even went to bed last night with YouTube on my tablet. But other than that, other than this week and today hurting me so bad that I couldn't even work, I've actually been doing pretty well. I have taken notes on my phone so I wouldn't forget because, well, I have forgotten. So let's see if this jogs my memory. In my last update video, the 7-day update, like, oh, I'm doing so great. I think I had mentioned that my therapist and I were speculating that it might have been mania, or hypomania rather. And we were right. It was mania, hypomania. Um, I was on top of the world. I slowed down. I was even more aware of my limits, like my body and mental limits. I did have a little bit of depression for a couple days, and then I bounced right back. But like, I wasn't on top of the world anymore. I've just been having good days. Just normal good days where I'm not on top of the world, I'm not depressed, I'm just happy and content. I'm just happy to be here, y'all. I had a moment of gender euphoria. And that is the most I'm going to say about that. I had a great day of sparking. It was $100. Okay, I'm thinking of two different days. I was about to say $150, but I looked at my notes. $100. This is all in week 2. I made chicken penne from scratch. Well, not the noodles, obviously, or the chicken. Uh, but I bought ingredients instead of like jarred stuff or just pre-made stuff, and I made chicken penne, and I meal prepped it, and that was my dinner every night for 5 nights. I did hurt my back on the $100 sparking day, so I had a bad back for a couple days that kept me out of work, but I was fine. My bills were covered. I got my debt paid mostly off. No, that was last week. See, this is why I took notes, except I didn't take notes last week. Or this past week. Um, I still managed to remain busy with the bad back. I cleaned the house. I washed my cat bowls and fountain for the first time in a while. Um, and my cats were very appreciative. And my parents bought me some filters because I couldn't afford them for the cat fountain, but now I can afford them, so I can get them. It's like $20 for 12, which is great. I planned groceries out, like actual groceries like fruits, veggies, meats, ingredients, stuff like that. I've been I've been cooking with spices other than salt, pepper, and Everglades. I've been cooking with spices. Like I used did I use thyme? No, I used what did I use? I used something. Basil. I kept meaning to use parsley, but I kept forgetting that I didn't have parsley, so I never bought it. Still don't have it. I know I made spaghetti. I made the sauce from scratch-ish. It was not the best. It's still in my freezer because I'm just gonna throw it away. It was not good. And like I said, I had a relapse where I watched YouTube. I watched YouTube and Supernatural all day due to back pain instead of sticking to my limit of 4 hours of YouTube and 4 episodes of Supernatural. I literally spent from waking moments to going to bed. And that was in week 3. No, week 2. The next day after the YouTube relapse, I listened to music instead, even though my brain was tweaking for YouTube because I had given it what I had given it before. Then I had another great day of sparking, all in week 2. I made $155 in one day. 9 hours. Ended up hurting my back again. That's where I stopped taking notes. um, week three, nothing really happened. It'd be kind of boring to tell you week by week that I cleaned my house. I washed the cat bowls. I washed dishes. So I've been doing that. I've been keeping up with my hygiene. Been taking my medication, which is a good thing. But I had therapy after 2 weeks instead of 1 week. I've been seeing my therapist every week. And so 2 weeks later, I had therapy and we talked about it. And we both agreed, yep, that was hypomania. But still glad that I'm doing fairly well. I mean, my mental health issues are still here. Uh, just not quite as loud, except for, as I said, this week, where I relapsed and I watched, 2 days ago, I watched YouTube for all day. Haven't worked yet this week, but again, with the grief, I think it's called prolonged grief disorder or something like that. I'm not self-diagnosing. That's one thing I've been talking to my therapist about, trying to figure out whether or not that's it, or I just haven't given my brain the opportunity to deal with the grief yet because of YouTube and other stuff. Despite this week, I've actually been doing great. I recorded Lost Planet episode 1 finally. I got new earbuds so I can actually fucking hear. I painted my nails, as you can see. I need to fix them. But I painted my nails, something I've always wanted to do for a while. I got more cards for for my Pokemon collection, my Pokedex collection. I'm doing Gen 1 first. I got a book, and I was actually able to read a couple paragraphs before my brain said stop. And like I said, the brain is a muscle. You don't use it, it atrophies. So I'm kind of like strength training my brain, so to speak, to be able to let me read again. Because that's one thing I used to love when I was in like middle school. I read 3 James Patterson books in 1 week, like less than a week, I think 5 days. And them books are thick. Well, they're not really. I mean, you can see them right there. Those books right there. They're not the thickest, but for a middle schooler, that's kind of a big book, I think. I don't know. But I actually was able to read a couple paragraphs before my brain started trying to focus on something else. To be fair, it's not a fiction book. Well, actually, I'll go grab it. It is Early Irish Myths and Sagas. I have always been told that I've got Scotch Irish in me, and so I'm like, I want to learn about my potential ancestors. I know I have French in me because my grandmother was a French, what are they called? French Protestant, or Huguenot descendant. She tracked her lineage back. But I've always been interested in this, and I mentioned before, I think I've mentioned it here, maybe it was somewhere else, that Celtic mythology has always interested me, along with other mythologies like Greek, Norse, Roman, Egyptian. So, you know, I got this, and what I have read of it so far, the 1.5 pages, I'm actually enjoying it. But my brain is tweaking for YouTube because once I got to like hour 4, I was like, okay, I need to stop. I need, to apply some discipline. Even though I'm not working today, I'm grieving grandma. I need to do other healthier things to help me manage and cope with the grief. speaking of, I have started to do things on her birthday and her death day to honor her, to remember her, and stuff like that. And today, I cooked pot roast. Um, and if I remember, there will be pictures of it because, oh my fucking god, it was delicious. But today I made pot roast for the first time ever in my life, and it was perfect. The meat was extremely tender. I can't tell if my cats are fighting or shitting, but it was extremely tender. The potatoes were perfect. I forgot to put green beans in it. And if you think green beans in pot roast is weird, I don't like carrots in pot roast. I don't like cooked carrots, rather. But next time I will probably put them in there because it just didn't taste like her pot roast. But still, and I'm actually proud of myself, which is something I've never been able to say. I mean, I've tried to force myself to say it, but I never really meant it until today. Like, I am proud of myself for how far I've come in just a month. Also, I know I'm like really fucking white right now. I don't know why I cannot get the light right. Like, I'll turn it down, like, oh, that looks good, and then suddenly my face is just like, nah. Today, my partners and I, we went out and about, out and about, to some nerd stores because one of my friends was like, hey, you want some vintage Magic the Gathering cards? I'm like, hell yeah, how much? He said free. I was like, okay. He's like, what's your address? Give him my address. He sends them to me, and I open it, and I was like, oh shit, these are vintage. I'm like, these are in pretty good condition for not being stored properly. I went through the cards, and I scanned 1,095 cards. Now, I'd never seen a vintage card in my life, but I knew something was off because they, like, older cards are, thinner and flimsier, right? I think. These were, like, really thick and really, like, crystal clear, like, really good. I'm like, something just doesn't feel right, but maybe, I was very hopeful because I got two dual lands. I got my Chase dual land, the Volcanic Island, and I got the Plateau, and they were both revised. I'm like, okay, so these are really nice. One's going to my collection, one's being sold for extra bill money. Well, I go to the local game shop, to the LGS, and I show it to them, and the guy's like really excited, and he's looking at it. He's like, hold on one second. And he gets someone who is very into Magic the Gathering, and she has like that little magnifying glass thing, and she looks at it, she goes, this is a really good proxy. And I was like, I did not mean to bring proxies in here. My friend gave them to me for free. He said they were vintage, I said Minecraft, Magic the Gathering. I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, it's okay. Like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay because I thought, I was going to get some bill money and, I thought I was going to have a great collection and all these vintage cards. And she looked at a few more. She said, these are just really good proxies. I'm like, damn. So that was cool. That kind of hurt physically and emotionally and financially because I wasn't doing so hot working this week by not working at all yet. But, that was disappointing. But I still got to spend time with my partners. Came home, I sat in my house. I got some modern cards from him too, so I scanned those just to keep track of my bulk so I could build decks. I got, you can't see it. I got deck boxes down there and down there. I've got all my bulk down there. There's like 6 boxes of bulk. I mean, I guess temporarily, because I only play casual. I don't play in tournaments or anything. I just play with my boyfriend. So for now, I'm using the lands because I have no basic lands in my bulk because I've built so many decks. For now, I'm using those until I can get basic lands. But it was disappointing. But it is what it is, It happens. Shit happens. Yeah. So that's the update. I've been doing pretty good except for this week. Like, I've been going pretty strong for 3 weeks at least. I did still manage to clean the house this week, even with the oncoming grief and depression and stuff like that. And I know I'm going to struggle for a few more days to a week, and eventually I'll bounce back and I'll be back up on my feet steady and stuff. So, YouTube detox, day 30. Fucking didn't nail it, but, I'm doing better than expected, and I'm really excited to see how well I do the longer it goes on. Like, right now my brain is tweaking for more YouTube because I kind of relapsed and overfed it a couple days. I think the gain is up on my microphone, but I looked and it's not. Yeah, I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be Lost Planet Extreme Condition Episode 2. If you haven't watched the first episode, check it out. It's I'm gonna be honest, it's not the best gameplay. I'm kind of rusty when it comes to gameplay videos. Kind of rusty, so I'm hoping to get better. I also have Soma that I want to play, and I'm looking for other games that I want to play. But Soma is one game that I've been wanting to play for like a year, and I was like, I should do this on YouTube. Why not? Get my actual first reaction on it. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.